Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lola, as you know, and the channel is Lifestyle with Lola. Thank you so much for every single subscriber that I've had so far. Thank you so much for everybody that is going to click right now and subscribe and always get notified as soon as I post fresh and juicy content. Thank you so much. So the last episode, the last video, I talked about 4 tips to help you raise your children when you get to the UK. Honestly, raising children in the UK is one of the most challenging things that can happen to anybody that is planning to that is relocating or has relocated to the UK, because there's a lot in the mix, there's a lot in the dynamics, and juggling it with raising good children. But it's not just about anybody can raise a child, but raising good children is the aim. That's the goal. So join me as I take you on the part 2 of what you can do, extra tips that you can do that can help you. Join me. The last video we talked about 4 tips that can help you to raise good children in the UK. Another thing I want to talk about is the power of raising your children with other good-minded adults. Now, I know that we always talk about, I know that people say that people should mind their business and all that, like, oh, keep your nose in your own business and everything. But the truth is, we are Africans and we are a community-based kind of people. Those are the garbage people trying to take out the trash. That's why you can hear a lot of noise. Oh my God. And the window is open. And the kids in the school opposite are one of their bricks. So there's a lot of noise. I hope it gets filtered out. Anyway. Okay. All right. So just as I was saying, Africans are a family-oriented and community-based kind of people. You cannot remove that factor from us. You cannot. So when you come to the UK and you stay in so much isolation, or you isolate yourself so much from family, from other people, from other Africans that are family-oriented and have good values, it will be tricky to raise your children the right way. It will be tricky to give them this kind of upbringing that will help them to be stable people in life, help them to be good people, help them to be good individuals that will contribute to the society. Honestly, there's this African proverb that says that it takes a village to raise a child. It does take a village to raise a child. So why are you removing them from that support system? See, whether we want it or not. Okay, now, I have a friend that sometimes when I have to be away and I don't get back on time, she helps me pick the children, and sometimes I have to help her do that. And there was a day she told me, she said, Lola, your children, they don't know how to play rough play at all. Small play like this, they're already crying, they're already this and everything. And yes, it's true. Because I think the little one, that one, she is just that when she sees that something is not going her way, sometimes she can be a bit funny. And I try to correct her as much as possible that no, when it's not going your way, it is not going your way and you will have to deal with it. While the other one is a bit on the, from when he was a little boy, he never liked rough play. When people are roughhousing, when other children are roughhousing and playing rough plays and all that, he will withdraw and study them. He will watch them. He will never get involved. And of course, I don't like to force them to do that. You understand? But I mean, it's not a big, and then there are children that are picky eaters. They don't eat so much. So I have this difficulty when they go to other people's places that they don't eat so much, or when they give them food, it's not exactly what they like to eat. So those ones will be worried and say that well, your children, we give them food, they didn't eat. And I'm like, it's not your problem. It's not an issue for you. It's not your issue. It's not, they just don't eat. Even in my house, I have to force them to eat. You understand? They just like to eat just a certain type of food and everything. It annoys me because one eats a certain type of, the other one will decide that she does not want to eat it. I don't have that stress. If I cannot, the way I was brought up is what we give you, you will eat. You understand? So I cannot come and be, I'm the like the soldier in the house that insists that no, you will eat this. The father a bit is flexible and be like, okay, let's just allow them. You know they don't eat much. Let us make food for them and let us just do this and let us just make these two different. But it doesn't work all the time, and children can be funny. When they get away with it, they will now start thinking that's the norm, and that's what I don't want because it can be stressful. That's the truth. And then when she pointed it out too, and I was like, okay, it's true. I have to find how to get them to try other foods out, eat other things, because it's not just about them alone, or about, they are not going to be under me for life, they're not going to be in our house for life and everything. There are times that I will need other people to help me care for them. Would they now be putting other people under that kind of stress? It's not like my friend was complaining. She didn't complain, but she was just bringing it to my own observation. And if there was something I could do, of course there's a better way to be able to handle it and teach them to be more accepting of other foods and everything, you understand? So that's the power of allowing other people into your own space to be able to help with your children. Because the truth is, your own children, when you train them, you never know the extent to which your training goes in them until they are out of the house, they're in other people's places, they're in other spaces, where you see that, okay, I taught this child this, and yes, he's implementing it, she's implementing it, or she's not implementing it. Whether we want it or not, does it mean that you're a bad parent? No, it doesn't mean you're a bad parent. It just means that there's more work to be done. So the power of co-parenting with other responsible, family-oriented and value-oriented families is very important. Please, no man is an island. No man is an island. Whether we want or not, yes, we're in the UK, we mind our business and all that, but no man is an island. And that's the truth. And there's a lot of crazy things happening that if your child gets caught up in it, it will be a sorry situation. So you just have to be flexible enough to allow other people to be able to correct your child too, and or point out where your child is making some errors, so that it's not to cast any form of shame on your parenting skill or anything, but for that child's future benefit. So that's that for that point. So another point I want to really emphasize, another tip I want to emphasize strongly, which we tend to want to overlook, is the power of godly parenting. Honestly, the power of the church, religion in raising good children, whether we want it or not. No matter what the world says, no matter what woke culture says, God still reigns supreme in the affairs of men, whether we want it or not. See, I purposely waited for this as the last point, because of course we have so many things we can say and everything, but this is the paramount thing. See, anything that you commit into God's hand, God never forgets. He never forgets. He holds it there because he likes. See, God gave us these children. God is the owner of these children, and he released them to your care. You are their words. So why will you remove God from the equation? Why? Okay, someone like me now, I decided I will not be taking jobs. If I get job shifts, I will not take them on Sundays, because I want my children to go to church. And I attend a church that is actually very good. Amazing church and everything. And my children, so much, anytime they go to children's church, they're always happy. They come back home, they tell me that they enjoyed service, they enjoyed it. You can see that genuinely they enjoy the service, and they look forward to going next time. So why deprive them? I cannot do it alone. My husband and I cannot do it alone. There are days that we even forget to probably have devotion because we are all rushing out or all these things. Well, of course, we try as much as possible to pray every night before we sleep. We take turns praying and everything. But the truth is, you cannot do it independent of good belief system, whether we like it or not. Children are a heritage of the Lord, and it is good that you teach them in the way of God, whether you like it or not. See, it is only God's word that will never fail. This world, the system of this world has failed already. The system of this world has broken down already. So high time you put them on a path where they know that you know that their future is secure in God's hand. I tell my children, when they do some things that I feel that, or maybe when we are discussing things that we see that are happening and everything, and I tell them, I say, see, don't lie, or don't say you will not lie because you are afraid of me. No, I know that you are probably afraid of me, like parents, the respect that you give, respect in the fear in the respect form that you give parents. But don't do it because of me. I said, if you don't steal, if you don't lie, it's because you fear God. I let them know. I say, see, you know that I cannot see you when you're doing things all the time, but God sees you. And let me tell you, the way the system is that God does not punish people. You understand? But once you step out and do a thing that is not good, the devil has jurisdiction in that area. You have stepped out of God's jurisdiction into the devil's jurisdiction, and he can do whatever he wants. Because God is fair, he will allow the devil. He will not remove you from the situation, except if that's the way your life, he has designed it, that you have to pass through that and everything. So I let them know that, see, don't do this because of me, do it because of God. You understand? And I see that it's working. It's working. Because the fear of God is truly the beginning of wisdom. If you don't put the fear of God in them, and let them know that there is God, and God is supreme, he sees all, he knows all, and that These things, you just have to instill it in your children. Very important. So whether we want it or not, regardless of whether you're in a country where people don't go to church or not, it's their choice not to go to church. But the truth is, God cannot be downplayed in the affairs of men, in the affairs of raising your children. But God cannot be downplayed. And the earlier you adjusted to it, the better. So honestly, I hope that this helps. And I know it's a huge fear with a lot of parents that want to come and settle here. How do I raise children? But God never fails on his own end of the deal. You stick to your own end of the deal. Raise your children well, do the needful. God always holds his own end of the table up. He always does. So don't have entertain so much fear that you are paralyzed and you refuse to do what you are meant to do. Do what you are meant to do and trust God to do his part. He always does his part. He never shakes. We are the ones that walk away from this deal. We are the ones that always walk away. So please, do not entertain fears. Do not entertain fears. The earlier you started, the better. Just like I had said before. Non-verbal communication, giving them the right knowledge, letting them know. The truth is, if you don't let them know all these things, these children go to school, they teach them, they've given them the numbers of police to call. They've told them that they have rights, that they can challenge their parents. Some will even tell their parents that, do you know that you cannot beat me? Do you know that you cannot correct me? You cannot do this. You understand? You have codes that you used to that you use to define this, so that when they mention those, when you are using those codes with them, they'll say, did your parents be to know? You say, my daddy gave me do good. Do good is do good. It's do good. It's not do good. So when you have codes that you communicate with, and it helps. It does make your job easier. So if you have watched so far and you know that it is the type of content that you like, please drop a like, drop a comment, and let me know what you feel. Let's engage. And please subscribe so that you get to be notified as soon as I drop messages, as soon as I drop videos. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much, guys. And cheers. Happy parenting. And see you soon. Bye.